Are dirt bikes dangerous? The KTMs are here as well. How long before I can start doing stunts? You're looking at somewhere around 2.8 to 3 lakh. You cannot register a dirt bike in India. Hi, my name is Ashok George. I'm the head of business at BigRock Park, and I'm also the team principal of BigRock Motorsports. Today at Answered, we're going to try and answer some frequently asked questions about off-road motorcycles and dirt bikes in general. So let's see how it goes. All right, so the first question, can I use a regular motorcycle for dirt biking in India? Ideally not. Dirt bikes are usually built for a purpose. It has more suspension travel, better wheels, better tires, the gearing specific to off-road use. If you're starting off, I would say start off with at least something like the Hero X Pulse, so you learn the basics right. The second question, which is the best beginner dirt bike in India, and what are the best dirt bike brands that are available in India? Well, unfortunately, in India, we don't have a lot of options when it comes to off-road motorcycles, especially dirt bikes. Most people start off with something like a Hero X Pulse, which is a great option if you're just starting off. We do have some Kawasaki's that are available. Actually, Kawasaki sells most of its off-road portfolio in India. So you can buy that from a Kawasaki dealership in your city. Of late, the KTMs are here as well, a limited number of models from their off-road lineup. So if you're looking at picking up a fully fledged dirt bike, it will unfortunately have to be KTM or Kawasaki. You don't have any other options. How much does it cost to purchase a dirt bike? Well, it all depends on what kind of dirt bike you're buying, but at the lower end of the spectrum, you're looking at somewhere around 2.8 to 3 lakhs if you're picking up an X Pulse or something. It can go up to 12 to 14 lakhs for the more premium bikes like the KTM 350 XE. How to register a dirt bike in India? Well, unfortunately, we cannot register off-road specific motorcycles in India. Most of them have not been homologated. Right now, there are only two options. You can either buy a Hero X Pulse and register it, and there's also a new Kawasaki KLX 230 that has come out that will be road legal. So you've got two options. All right, the next question. If I buy a dirt bike, how long before I can start doing stunts? Maybe a wheelie to start with. Well, learn the basics properly before you start doing stunts. Wheelies are fun to look at, but they take a lot of practice to fine-tune. I think when you're starting to learn how to ride a dirt bike, mostly for most of us in India, it's a whole lot about unlearning everything that we've learned, because largely most of the motorcycling population in India is self-taught. So there are some bad habits that we've picked up along the way. So at BigRock, when we do our beginner level courses, at least half a day is spent unlearning a lot of the mistakes that we've been making for a long time. So start at the bare basics and then build your skill up from there. Why are dirt bike tires different sizes? Well, let me answer it in a different way. I will address why dirt bikes have larger front wheels, because most of the time dirt bikes and off-road bikes in general are used on very rough terrain. A larger diameter front wheel allows you to not get deflected off of the stuff that you're riding on. It helps you climb over rather than getting tossed in a different direction. Why are dirt bike helmets shaped so differently? Well, compared to a road bike helmet, the purpose that the dirt bike helmet is built for, other than protection, is slightly different. While on-road helmets are designed to deflect air and not hamper your vision, dirt bike helmets have to allow you to breathe better, because it's a very physical activity. It needs a lot more airflow, which is why you wear a sort of openish front with the dirt bike helmet with the goggles on, so that your eyes are protected, but your nose and mouth still gets significant amounts of airflow that help you with the rigorous physical activity that it is. Are dirt bikes dangerous? Well, all motorcycles are dangerous if you don't do it right. But if you ask me, falling on dirt hurts a lot less than falling on tarmac. So are they dangerous? Yes. Are they more dangerous than tarmac? Well, I don't think so. Are electric dirt bikes available in India? Unfortunately, not yet. There are a few companies worldwide that do really good electric motorcycles that are now being used in competitions as well. Snacc is a good example of it. Incidentally, Snacc is partially owned by Royal Enfield. So if you guys maybe reach out to Royal Enfield and spam them saying that you want Snaccs, maybe they'll bring them to India. What engine capacity is best for beginners in dirt biking? Well, ideally you need to start off with a slower bike. Usually dirt bikes are like pure off-road dirt bikes like the KLXs, the KXs, the KTM SXFs, etc. They have an entire portfolio that starts at 65cc, then goes up to 85, then there's 110s, then there's 125s, then goes up to 250 and the 450. The 450 is the top of the chain. Ideally start with a slower bike because what we've noticed at our training center is that when you're spending half of your time being overwhelmed by the power and the speed of the motorcycle itself, the amount you're learning is quite low. So I would say start at a slow bike. Can women ride dirt bikes in India? Yes, they can definitely ride dirt bikes in India. We in fact have a women-only program at BigRock that we do every month. So if you're interested in riding dirt bikes, please reach out to us and we'll sort you out. What is the fuel efficiency of dirt bikes? Well, if you're talking about competition grade bikes, they're not very efficient and they don't have very large fuel tanks as well. Most of them are capped at 8 to 10 liters at the most, maybe even lesser. So are they efficient? Not really. Most of us haven't spent any time to measure how efficient they are. If I had to estimate, then maybe it's between 15 to 20 kilometers per liter. How to start dirt biking in India? Well, the easiest way would be to buy a motorcycle and just go out and start riding some trails. But the ideal way would be to go to your nearest training center and get trained in what the basics are and then build it from there. Which are the best dirt biking trails in India? Oh, wow. This is a loaded one because the way our country is, you can find trails across the length and breadth of the country. It's just a matter of doing some homework on Google Maps. There are multiple forums available on the internet where you can ask questions and find out where the trails are. There used to be something called the GRIT, the Great Indian Trail, where a few friends of ours had mapped some GPX trails for everybody to use. It's pretty open source, so you can maybe tap into that. But by and large, I think anywhere you are in the country, you'll be able to find some trail. I love the trails around BigRock in Kolar. There's some very nice ones up north in the hills, in Ladakh, in Himachal, in Uttarakhand, all over. But if I had to pick just one, I think Ladakh is where it's at. Are there any dirt biking events or competitions in India? Actually, there's a full calendar of events that happen throughout the year. You can go to the Federation of Motorsports Clubs of India's website and they've got all of them listed here. Other than that, at BigRock, we host 4 races every year. There's other companies like us that do races all through the year. Royal Enfield is actually doing a flat track championship starting next year. Professionally, there is the Indian Supercross Championship that happens. There's the Indian Motocross Championships that happen. There's the Indian Rally Championships that happen. So there's a full calendar of stuff if you're interested. You will need a license, a competition license to take part in most of these events though, so keep that in mind. If you're looking at making this your career, then India is still growing in that regard. Well, compared to what it was 10 years ago, it is in a place where I know multiple athletes that make their living out of being racers full time. So there are factory teams that are run by Hero, TVS, a whole bunch of them. And if you want to start off and aim at being a part of that, then I would say start locally, start at the lower level events as a privateer. And if you're good enough, then the scouts will spot you and then maybe offer you a factory contract. What is the difference between motocross and dirt biking? Well, if you use a dirt bike to race in a closed circuit, then that's motocross. So it's essentially motocross includes dirt bikes, but is dirt biking only motocross? No. How do I maintain my dirt bike in India and how much does it cost to maintain a dirt bike? Okay, the how of it is it's not very different from any other motorcycle. They need periodical servicing, they need some bits and pieces that need to be replaced if it falls down. So it's pretty similar in that regard. How much does it cost? It entirely depends on what kind of motorcycle you have. If you have something imported, the parts can be a bit of an issue. You might have to wait a bit longer and you might have to spend a little more. What are the best dirt bike events in India for beginners? Okay, I'm going to do a shameless plug here. Every year at BigRock, we do a race called Snacc Attack, which is entirely meant for beginners, amateurs who have no motorsport experience whatsoever. So we completely handhold you from start to finish. while giving you an experience of what a proper race weekend is like. So look out for that. All right, what are the safety precautions you should take before you start riding a dirt bike? So first and foremost, invest in the right riding gear. Off-road motorcycle gear is significantly different from what you would wear on tarmac, because while tarmac gear is focused more on abrasion resistance and impact resistance, dirt bike gear focuses a lot more on breathability and impact resistance, because you're mostly riding on softer surfaces. Abrasion doesn't really come into the picture. So the first thing that you should do, pick up a good helmet, pick up the right protective gear, and wear them all the time. And that's the number one rule with anything motorcycle related, especially when you're riding dirt bikes. So I guess that's all the questions for today. Thank you, Ansad, for having me on the show. And as always, if you guys are interested in learning how to ride off-road the right way, then please do reach out to BigRock. We've got courses for everyone, training programs that don't discriminate about how much experience you come in with. If you don't know how to ride a motorcycle, we'll teach you how to ride a motorcycle. If you're an athlete looking for a place to train, then we have that too. So if you're ever looking at off-road motorcycling as a sport, as a hobby, then give us a shout and we'll sort you out.